Thanks for having me today. My name is Kobi. I'm VP of Product Management at PlainID. Just a few words about us. PlainID. We are helping organizations make real-time decisions, authorization decisions on who can do what and with which data and under which condition on the authorization stack. So we're serving tier 1 customers across multiple use cases for applications, for data, for APIs. And obviously in the AI era, this becomes especially critical as applications move to be agent-based or based on agent flows, where decisions are made continuously and not just during login time or through static access. So developers that build those applications needs dynamic guardrails that control agent behavior at runtime and enforce granular authorization on agents and what agents do, whether it be calling for MCP tools or applying actions or retrieve documents through RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and make sure that they only get access to what the combination of an user agent is really truly entitled to see. And that's what we do. And traditional roles, traditional IAM kind of static roles cannot handle this level of dynamic behavior. And PlainID, we're focused, we have a policy-based access control management plane that evaluates identity, intent, data, context, and does all that in real time. And then obviously provides the enforcement within the application layer. And our new AI policy management offering adds discovery and management and enforcement to agent flows using very intuitive kind of user interface and visual governance. And that's why we think we're a very, very good fit for modern day application development for the AI era. And with that, let me quickly share my screen. Hopefully you can see my screen. So this is a very quick overview of our UI. It has a lot of features and very varied. This specific view is an organizational view on the agent or journey of identity through agents to resources within the organization. So what you can see on this overview, you can see on the left side the identities domain within this organization. So they have two IDPs in this use case, an Okta and an Entra. Those are connected to a specific applications, which employs agent across different agent frameworks, be it AWS or Google or whatever, and also utilize MCP servers to reach out to different data tools across the organization. So this view kind of provides you a very high level of governance of how the organization, the application layer looks within the organization and what access each and every component, identity, and agent has within the organization. You can do all sorts of drill downs and filters and see the exact policies within those different connections. So that's one part of that section. And now I want to drill down and show to you how a policy is very easily being defined under this system. So on our platform, we have a policy catalog. Those policies have a lot of information associated with them. And I'm just going to walk you through how you quickly build a policy, which is a policy that's geared towards an agentic AI flow. So I'll start with the identities, right? So in my use case, I want to provide access to financial managers and allow them to get access to financial data through agents that are built within my organization. So I'd like to choose from my Okta environment the specific group of people that I'm interested in this case, financial managers. And then I'm going to choose which agents these guys should get access to. And I'm choosing a specific agent, which is defined under agent core. I have a financial analyst agent. I want to give them access to that. And then I'm going to look at the actual guardrails that govern the access through that agent. So from an input guardrail perspective, a first filter, I want to make sure that they can honestly ask question about finance. So I'm going to filter all the questions. If they ask a question that's not relevant to finance, we're going to block that. We're only going to allow questions that are related to financial information because this is the use case. We're going to do something very similar on the MCP layer. I know this agent is connected to an MCP, and this MCP has a lot of tools associated with it. In this case, I'm going to use a conversational interface and ask the UI or ask our AI assistant, show me all tools that relate to finance. When I do that, our AI essentially looks at all the tools discovered from the MCP layer and provides me with all the relevant objects that might relate to finance. I actually really want to provide access to the order RDBMS tool because that's where the financial information exists. So I want to say add this to the policy, which essentially what happens behind the scene is that our AI assistants build all the policy components, all the logic behind the scenes, and configures it and builds it into the control. I can do something similar with our RAG access. In this case, this agent has a resource of financial reports he can access. So I want to give it access to those financial reports, but not to the employee records. But I do want to filter this based on region. So I want to make sure that people that are from the financial managers group only get access to reports that are associated with their own region. So people from the US would get access to reports from the US, and people from EMEA would get access to reports from EMEA. And lastly, I can also filter the response and mask data for PII or for whatever definitions I decide. Once I'm done with that, I can save my save my policy and be done with that, and I have a policy defined in the system. So with that, I completed my first step of building a policy. I just want to show you one more quick view of, let me share again my screen. And now I want to share an application that we've built here. And that application essentially emulates an application that utilizes AI and is built on that financial agent that I just mentioned previously and is connected behind the scenes to PlainID. So first, I'm going to disconnect it from PlainID, and it acts like a simple agent. And I'm going to plug in a question here, just a sec. I'm going to ask it a financial question. Let's say something in these lines. And right now, it's not connected to our policy, and I see it gives me a fairly thorough answer based on the documents it has access to. I'm going to add the relevant guardrails. So now this is connected to my policy enforcement point. And now the policies that I just defined should be applied. By the way, I also defined my user here on the left side. In this case, I defined my user as a CFO from EMEA. So let's ask the same question again and see what's happened. This is an AI real-life demo of an AI agent based on LangChain that works behind the scene to pull documents through retrieval augmented generation. And as you can see, because of the policy enforced, it now reducts the information and provides something more limited just for the EMEA region. If I would change the role to a CMO, for example, so this guy is not a financial person, and ask the same question, I should be blocked from this question because I'm not even a financial person. So you can see I get an answer that this request requires a higher authorization level. That was what I wanted to share. Hopefully that was quick enough and I made it in the right amount of time, but obviously our platform provides a much wider array of capabilities, as mentioned, for API, for data access, for application controls, and now also for agentic flows. Any questions, comments? I'll be happy to answer here.
Yes, Kobi, great job. Thank you so much for walking us through that. Joe, since I was first, I will ask the first question. So I think you touched on a little bit. What does zero standing privileges mean? You can give a little bit more about that.
So the zero standing privileges means you do not provide any static authorization or entitlement to users or to agents within the organization. We want to deploy zero trust. We are in a cybersecurity domain, right? So zero trust means we trust no one, and everything happens what we call just in time. So whenever a questions come in from an identity or an identity agent combination, because every time an agent creates a call, sometimes it's on behalf of a user or a non-human identity, then we take that context and in real time we say, yes, that's permitted or not. And zero standing privileges means let's not predefine privileges to all sorts of agents and users. Let's do that in real time to ensure maximum security.
Great. Do you integrate with ERP systems?
By all means. So what I showed you earlier, and you've seen the ERP piece there, essentially we have a mean to get information, discover data from the resources, identities, resources, and systems that you integrate with. So we discover the data and also enrich during the real-time call the authorization decision. So if I need an information from an external system, like an ERP or like a CRM or like a risk system or some other system that was defined here that defines risk or whatever, I can use that as part of my authorization logic. Mm-hmm.
One more from the group. Does just-in-time, does it lead to any performance issues?
So we've been doing it for a long time in a very high scale, highly performant, critical systems, and definitely providing real-time answers means that we have to be very latency aware in our experience, and this is based on real live production environments where millions and millions of calls to our PDP are happening every minute, every second. This scale very well, and obviously you need to model it and build your information sources that support your decision in the right way. But it gets to a very low amount of milliseconds of latency addition. Yeah.
Kobi, thank you so much for bringing us home. Great demo. Great. And again, audience, any more questions, please feel free to reach out to Kobi and team on the PlainID side. I'm sure they're happy to walk you through a deeper demo of all their capabilities.